Hollywood runs on secrecy. Behind the flashing lights and red carpet glamour lies a hidden world where some of your favorite stars do unspeakable things to achieve and maintain status among the rich and famous. And those who dare speak out often find their lives in danger. A world of elite sex cults, celebrity sacrifices, and the blood oaths that ensure anyone who dares speak out winds up dead. A shadowy society so exclusive, few outsiders ever learn of its existence. Who are its elite members, and just what does it take to join? Could some of cinema's biggest stars have been murdered or even sacrificed? And what are Hollywood's ties to elite child trafficking rings? Find out as we explore the dark side of the entertainment industry Hollywood doesn't want you to see. Celebrity fascination has permeated conspiracy culture to such a degree that many now think of what is called the Illuminati as some celebrity club. In reality, celebrities are nothing more than well-kept puppets of the elite establishment, barking like a dog upon command to distract the general public. Similar to the bread and circuses of ancient Rome, entertainment creates a valuable distraction for the increasing problems facing today's society. Movies and television serve as a powerful means of shaping culture and ideas. So it should come as no surprise that government and the elite would seek control over such a compelling means of mass manipulation. Since its infancy, Hollywood has essentially served as a propaganda outlet for the military, government, and ruling elite. Donald Duck was even used to promote paying taxes and the sale of war bonds during World War II. The most overt form of control exerted over Hollywood producers is military script approval. Movies often require the use of military-owned vehicles and equipment. In order to use such items, producers must submit their script to a set of military liaison officers who read and require changes.
You'll find notes written throughout here. I'll take an email and I'll do up all the pages that I have problems or questions about, and just enumerate those for the producer, and then I email them to the producer and to the Pentagon, our boss up at the Pentagon, so he knows what we're doing and what concerns we have.
Even the G.I. Joe cartoon had military consultants, ensuring its young audience had a favorable view of the military. The CIA also requires similar script approval. Besides making billions of dollars worldwide for studios and distributors, movies project perceptions and ideas into the mass subconscious.
CIA is primarily interested in Hollywood because Hollywood is one of the principal means through which the establishment in the United States is able to shape public opinion. And the CIA's role is in shaping that narrative and in projecting it into Hollywood and into the public consciousness.
They also use Hollywood to demonize and to create enemies where there are no enemies.
In reality, the nexus of intelligence agencies, secret societies, and the entertainment industry is a tale more lurid than Hollywood's best screenwriters could ever produce.
Are there many actors in Hollywood who also moonlight as agents, do you think?
I think there are probably quite a few, yes. I think probably Hollywood is full of CIA agents, and we just don't know it. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to discover that, this was extremely common.
Years ago, a peaceful orange grove lay in the sun of Southern California. Today, that orange grove is Hollywood, city of dreams for boys and girls all over the world.
Desperation. The town runs on it, feeds off it. It is the thick black crude that keeps the Hollywood dream machine running smoothly. Hollywood has no shortage of ambitious newcomers desperate for a mere whiff of fame. Most know about the notorious casting couch, but what few realize is how institutionalized the practice has become within the entertainment industry.
I found when I was a 16-year-old, fresh from boarding school, going out into, on the casting couch, I was definitely objectified to an extreme. The kinds of roles and the kinds of things I was expected to do in auditions. I mean, there was one horrific incident where I went back for a second audition, and the director asked me to sit with my legs apart The camera was right between, you know, positioned where it could see up my skirt, to put my leg over the arm of the chair, and before I started my dialogue, think about the character that I was supposed to be having the dialogue with, and how it felt to be made love to by this person. And I was thinking, this is so strange, why would I need to do that? But this is the director, he is talking, you know, there's the casting director.
It must be normal.
It must be normal. I'm 18 years old, you know, and I'm thinking, this is obviously something that, I was in a protected, you know, there were boundaries. And it turned out that the director who went on to make the film and who I was auditioning for used to show that video late at night to interested parties at his house. A video of me touching myself with a camera up
So
my
you were
skirt.
abused, but at the time it didn't feel like it.
And that was in a professional environment.
Casting directors, agents, or producers often make it clear that actors who want the role not only must make themselves available to sleep with that particular power player, but also their network of powerful friends as well.
The first thing they're going to do is break you. Nobody in Hollywood gets a pass. If you want to go in Hollywood, it's just not going to one guy get you. They're going to pass you around. All of them. Because it's from one, it escalates from one step to the other. It's 1, 2, I don't give a damn. It's never over. Every time you do something, it's not like, okay, it's done, you did it the first time. Now what you want to do, the sky's the limit. No. They take you back to that room and do it all over again.
Many modeling and talent agencies are also prostitution operations. They may get their clients actual work, but they are expected to take on escort gigs as well.
Models routinely are shipped to Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, who will go on a weekend to make 6 figures for turning a trick with some Middle Eastern royalty and come back on a Monday flush with cash. And this goes on every week, every day, every month of the year.
Many celebrities are still available for hire if you have enough money and the right connections.
There's a lot of international wealthy businessmen who can pay the price to fly an actress or a well-known celebrity actress model to wherever he lives, whatever country. Maybe they didn't have a hit film in a few years, but they're still, you know, sexy with an international businessman who says, hey, I want you to come out and visit me in my castle.
The escort track is how many aspiring entertainers and models find themselves at the mansion parties and secret underground clubs where they are groomed for initiation into powerful secret orders, after which their career skyrockets.
But Cat Williams was correct when he said those mansion parties, and y'all don't understand what go on with that shit, man. Cat Williams said they was letting him in, and the stuff that he was seeing was blowing his mind.
They be having these big-ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited as a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you fuck around and look in the wrong room and shit.
I went to one time, I've seen them really bad. They actually kill people there and stuff. They pay like up to like 100,000 people to see people get
executed.
I'm not kidding, but I went to another one where literally I saw like the grossest. I wanted to throw up.
But once inside, they enter a world so vile and fraught with danger, it's no wonder many must remain constantly doped up. Inside are levels of secret societies and Luciferian rulers who wield ultimate power over those who dare enter their elite network. With each level comes increased fame, wealth, and status, but as the rewards get bigger, so does the cost, and once you're in, there's no turning back. Given Hollywood movies' role in ensuring the elite's continued control, it should come as no surprise that entertainers are viewed as valuable commodities, and the bigger the star, the more value and power they achieve. But like all commodities, they too are controlled by the elite cabal. But what methods of control do the elite puppet masters use, and what happens when celebrities get out of line? November 19th, Sacramento, California. A packed stadium roars as one of the top headliners takes stage. But soon it would become apparent this would be no typical Kanye West concert. In what the mainstream media dismissed as a crazy rant, he discussed, among other things, how the news media lies and manipulates the public's perception of reality.
Google lied to you. Facebook lied to you. Radio lied to you. I am putting my life, my public well standing at risk when I talk to y'all like this.
Hours later, he was handcuffed to a gurney and hauled away under the pretenses of a psychiatric emergency. The incident sparked immediate reaction from conspiracy researchers who feared Kanye had broken from his mind control and had to be taken in for reprogramming. Indeed, the Illuminati use an insidious form of total mind control that involves breaking the victim's mind into multiple personalities, known as monarch programming.
You know, and it's a big culture of mind control too. MK Ultra mind control rules in Hollywood. If you don't know, Google that and look into it.
Well, we've talked about Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra mind control stuff from, I mean, this goes back decades and decades.
Since monarch mind control is expensive, time-consuming, and does not work on everyone, most celebrities are controlled via a system of blackmail, threats, and similar mafia-style tactics the Illuminati use to exert their dominance and keep stars in line. From bizarre humiliation rites to ritual abuse and even sacrifice, find out the sick cult tactics that keep stars bound to the Illuminati, and which loved actors may have been murdered. That and more after this. Celebrities are subjected to the same types of cult control and brainwashing as the rest of the secret society initiates. The first level of deterrence most experienced is simply the threat of not working. The entire industry is ran by 6 major studios. Say too much, and even an A-lister could be out of work in a heartbeat.
Roseanne, I mean, do you know people have been blacklisted? I mean, is it just kind of a self-censorship in Hollywood, or do people actually get edged out if they are too much against the grain?
Yeah, it's self-censorship after a while, but it's not just a crazy self-censorship. It's self-censorship because there's actually a danger that you will never work again.
Celebrities who speak out can also see their reputations ruined through the controlled media.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
We all love Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us.
They own TMZ and all other major outlets, and can have a star's reputation destroyed with bad press. The archetype of the shadowy Svengali controller is not without merit. Some puppet masters use drugs and hypnosis to keep their stars dependent and controlled. The paparazzi are used like gang stalkers, communicating amongst each other and following the celeb, harassing them, but mostly reminding them, everywhere you go, we are watching, you cannot hide. The whole paparazzi system is like a form of organized stalking, known as gang stalking, and meant to be intrusive and intimidating. It's no wonder many celebrities finally snapped, giving the paparazzi exactly the pictures and type of material publishers want. Often celebrities are made the victims of ritual humiliation. Ritual humiliation is a common cult control technique used by college fraternities, secret societies, and cults, usually during the initiation process. The precursors to the secret occult orders that now form what we call the Illuminati originated with the ancient mystery schools, which engaged in degrading initiations of their own. Hippolytus wrote in his 3rd century codex, Refutation of All Heresies, that initiation is nothing but blackmail through making the man commit shameful, often criminal acts. Hazing is a form of these humiliation rituals and has spread into various sects of society through Illuminati subgroups hidden in organizations and institutions which essentially function as recruiting pools. Since celebrities live their lives in public, humiliation rituals can be conducted on a very public level. During a humiliation ritual, the ego is the sacrifice. Public humiliation rituals could range from embarrassment on stage to having a sex tape leak, or any events orchestrated to direct embarrassment towards the victim. Male members are sometimes forced to wear a dress as form of degradation. This is especially humiliating when viewed in light of the sex acts they are often forced to endure during initiations. During an interview on the Oprah Winfrey Show, comedian Dave Chappelle exposed this practice. "I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree," Chappelle starts, before going on to describe how he too was pressured by Hollywood executives to wear a dress. Only after refusing several demands did the producers finally relent, at which point Chappelle says they suddenly had a new scene without the dress already written. Chappelle seemed to be indicating that this is, in fact, some sort of twisted ritual that those in the industry are often forced to endure. Oprah became visibly uncomfortable and quickly changed the subject. In fact, the clip proved so controversial, Oprah Winfrey Networks had the original version of this documentary taken down over its inclusion. Private humiliation rituals also take place in which initiates are made to eat horribly disgusting things, which is often filmed by the cult. Typically, all initiates, including celebrities, must also engage in gross and demented acts.
And then when you get in, it's rituals. Drinking blood, eating poop and drinking urine. Anything that we would think is totally inhuman, abominable, then that's what you must do. If you want to be a celebrity in Hollywood, then your attendance at these parties is going to be mandatory. Because if you want the movie roles coming in, then you've got to keep doing the rituals. You stop going to the meetings and you stop going to rituals, you start slowly losing everything that you had built up. And they don't complain. They get beyond that stage. They don't complain, they do it. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, what do? You go to an underground Hollywood club, a super secret Satanist club. Do they serve feces on toothpicks? These people are nasty.
These rituals are most likely filmed for sick pleasure and blackmail purposes. Most disturbingly, celebrities can be physically harmed or even murdered if they go against the cabal. Sadly, some entertainers are simply worth more dead, as albums and movies become more popular after an artist's death.
And how did you feel when you heard that Sony, I think it was back in the UK, had jacked the prices up of Whitney's album?
It reminds me...
Within an hour or so of her dying.
Yeah, that reminds me of the time I had a manager once that said to me, you know, you're worth more money dead than alive. Okay, so I am just, by the grace of God, stand I here.
In 2010, Randy Quaid and his wife Edie fled to Canada claiming they were refugees and that they were targets of an assassination plot perpetrated by what they call star whackers.
We believe there to be a malignant tumor of star whackers in Hollywood. How many people do you know personally who have died suddenly and mysteriously in the past 5 years? I have personally known 8 actors, all of whom I have worked with and was close to. Heath Ledger, Chris Penn, David Carradine, and among them. I believe these actors were whacked, and I believe that many others are being played to get at their money.
But could there be any truth to these allegations? Could Hollywood's secret societies have been responsible for the death of some of America's best-loved stars? August 5th, 1962. Newspaper headlines across the United States and Europe announced the death of one of the most legendary movie stars of all time.
One of the most famous stars in Hollywood history is dead at 36.
A physician hurriedly summoned, broke a bedroom window, found the actress dead in bed, holding in his hand.
But actress Marilyn Monroe's tragic death would prove to be as mysterious as it was unexpected. She had been having an affair with the current president at the time, John F. Kennedy, and his brother, Bobby, the Attorney General, and she was threatening to make the entire sordid affair public.
She said, I'm going to blow the lid off of this whole damned thing. And I asked her what she meant by that. And she said, my involvement with the Kennedys, it goes much deeper than what most people think.
Monroe supposedly died of a suicidal drug overdose, meaning she willingly swallowed a handful of pills. However, no pill capsules were in her system, and there was no glass to drink from in the room.
Dr. Greenson, he pointed out to me that on a nightstand by her bed there was about 8 prescription bottles. It had contained various kinds of prescription drugs. And he goes like this: she must have taken all of these. And he directs my attention to these. And I walk over and I stick my head over and I look down and they're all empty. And we look for a glass that she could have used to swallow these pills, and there was no glass in that room.
Here was a girl that had trouble taking an aspirin without a glass of water. And I have never seen her go and take pills or capsules without some type of a liquid. It was with her, she always said, I can't take something unless I've got something to drink it down with.
One could never take that many Nembutal without water. The tablets themselves would choke the patient and be so dry and sticky in his mouth he couldn't tolerate it. And without water being present, I don't see how she could have gotten them down. And obviously she didn't get them down because they were never found in her stomach.
Marilyn Monroe did not commit suicide. She was murdered.
She was a girl that knew too much, and she ended up dead one morning.
Heath Ledger's is undoubtedly one of Hollywood's strangest celebrity deaths, and many conspiracy researchers believe the acclaimed actor's demise had all the signs of an Illuminati sacrifice. Kill me. Fresh off filming his most iconic role as Batman's Joker in The Dark Knight, Ledger was found unresponsive in his bed by a masseuse whose first call was not 911, not the police, but none other than Mary-Kate Olsen. Olsen promptly dispatched her private security team to the room, who actually made it to the scene before paramedics. One can only speculate what bodyguards were supposed to do about a lifeless man, but theorists suggest they were there to clean up certain evidence from the scene.
If she suspected this was a life and death situation, why is she calling Mary-Kate first? But then the thing that is really damning here and suspicious, if you want to go to the darkest place of all, which is why did Mary-Kate then call her bodyguards and send them to the scene of the death?
Many of these security firms act more like fixers, making it so that no matter what their rich and famous client does, it is like it never even happened. They are experts.
Hollywood fixers go back to the golden age. These are shady gumshoe types, not unlike myself, who know how to assess a situation when there's a problem, when irreparable damage can be caused to the celebrity who's involved in something shady. And these are the guys who make the problems go away, hence the name fixers.
Mary-Kate demanded immunity before she would explain her involvement in the situation.
Weekly. All right, Lisa, legally, what is this lawyer doing? Why demand immunity?
Well, let's call it what it is. It's suspicious. You only ask for immunity if you have something to hide, right?
Some conspiracy researchers believe the actor's death could have been part of some kind of sacrifice. Those who do point not only to the strange imagery found in the movie he was working on at the time of his death, which featured Masonic symbolism and even a noose around his neck. Could Ledger's death have been part of a ritual sacrifice? While shocking to some, such an act would not be without precedent in Hollywood. When we return, the Joker's haunting smile makes its first Hollywood appearance, carved into the victim of one of the nation's most notorious unsolved murders.
She wanted out, and you don't get out.
The detectives arrive at the scene and they're shocked.
It is one of the most infamous and grisly murders of all time. January 15th, 1947, the body of an aspiring young actress was found next to the sidewalk on a vacant lot.
The detectives arrive at the scene and these are veteran homicide detectives who've seen it all, and they're shocked. They've never seen quite anything as horrific as this. It's a nude body of a young woman, carefully posed, not dumped, but carefully posed and positioned just off the sidewalk.
Dubbed the Black Dahlia by the press, Her body was mutilated and carefully posed like a mannequin in some sort of sick, surrealist art fashion.
There are a number of photographs that his close friend Man Ray had made. One was called the Minotaur, which was a woman's body cut in half, posed with her hands over her head in a certain position like this. And the Minotaur, of course, was the beast, the monster from the labyrinth who devoured maidens.
But the most unsettling details were never fully published. Carved into her face was the same iconic and disturbingly wide Joker grin, now popularized by A Dark Knight. New revelations in the case lead most researchers to believe the crime was committed by prominent doctor and underground abortionist at the time, George Hodel. Hodel's son, an LA homicide detective himself, confirms his father was the killer based on personal evidence and the case file.
Come up with the fact that my father, Dr. George Hill Hodel, was the killer.
The police at the time suppressed a full investigation into Hodel. But why? Could there be a wider conspiracy beyond just a lone psychotic? George Hodel's daughter, Tamar Hodel, accused her father of incest, mind control, underage orgies, and Luciferian philosophies.
Basically, Dad's arrested and has a trial, 3-week trial. The jury comes back with a kind of a 45-minute OJ verdict and said not guilty. And this is despite the fact that we had 3 adult witnesses present in the bedroom during the acts, actually participated, involved in it.
Many researchers now believe Hodel was working in tandem with a secret group of wealthy and powerful elites.
Of course, Mom's connections, because she was married so long to John Huston, a lot of film people. Mom was a screenwriter, so lots of movie people were friends with my father, and he had all kinds of connections in the Hollywood filmdom as well as all over, power politics.
In his book, Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon, researcher Dave McGowan concludes that the Black Dahlia was recruited as a ritualistic sacrifice by members of an elite cult engaged in satanic practices. But Hollywood's macabre history of ritual murder doesn't end there. 1 year after completing his eerily prophetic film Rosemary's Baby, Roman Polanski's pregnant wife, the actress Sharon Tate, is found slain in a gruesome murder done at the hands of Charles Manson's demonic family. Could Tate's murder have been part of some type of sacrifice? The testimony of Illuminati occultist and whistleblower John Todd supports those allegations.
They were wrote up. They were a contract. He was paid to do it. Tate was breaking away. Her husband knew about it. Her husband went over to establish an alibi in Europe. The money came down. $50,000 came down from Toronto to New Orleans, and poor Manson only got $2,000 of it by the time it went through all the sticky fingers. But that's what the Tate killings were about. The others just happened to be there. She wanted out, and you don't get out. And her mistake was she was having a baby, and she didn't want the baby raised up in it, and she wanted out. Her baby was what she cared about, and that's the information that I have on it. I belong to the New Orleans branch, and he was called a still disciple or an evangelist from the New Orleans branch across it.
Tate's face was also slashed, forming a smile similar to that found on the Black Dahlia.
Say 6 months after the murders, you're in the Alps and consorting with these girls from the finishing school and so on. I mean, I could see how you would sort of try to lose yourself like that, but is it wise to say so?
Yes, it is wise to say so. Why not? Why wouldn't it be wise to say so? That's the way it was. That's the way it is, I mean, just different people have different way of seeing life and relationships.
The history of ritual sacrifice among Hollywood establishment has led some researchers to speculate that certain levels require a blood sacrifice from their initiates.
You want to operate in that $20 million club and higher, $100 million club where these brothers were operating in? Oh, you got to pay the price. You got to bond yourself to these people forever.
You have to sacrifice. You have to cause death and suffering. And when you cause death and suffering, it's accredited to you, and that's more power that you get.
According to one article, superstardom is reserved for those who take part in murder of a lover, parent, or sibling. Many see a familiar pattern among celebrities: in which a family member or close friend will die tragically or mysteriously, after which their career seems to take off.
Jennifer Hudson wanted to be up in that space. Yep, her family got taken at it on some ritual killings. So we need to understand this particular thing. You're not going to operate up into the $50, $100 million club, and you're not paid the ultimate price now.
Some insiders have risked a great deal to expose such practices, one of which is acclaimed director Stanley Kubrick. March 7th, 1999. Fans around the world mourn the death of one of the greatest directors of our time, Stanley Kubrick, a mere 4 days after the official screening of his controversial movie Eyes Wide Shut. Researchers believe Kubrick's death was no accident, and that the filmmaker was murdered for unveiling what truly takes place within the Illuminati.
Then I went to technical services, where I was in charge of finding documents that you don't find in libraries, like where you put explosives on a bridge. Where's the best place to put an explosive on a bridge, and what kind of explosive do you have to get that goes underwater without it, destroying its effectiveness. Also, I had to find, one time they wanted me to find out if there was such a thing as a poison that was undetectable, especially one that seemed to mimic a heart attack, that would kill someone, but it would appear that they had a heart attack. I did find such a thing.
Does this pistol fire the dart?
Yes, it does, Mr. Chairman, and a special one was developed which potentially would be able to enter the target without perception.
The poison was frozen into some sort of dart, and then it was shot at very high speed into the person, so when it reached the person, it would melt inside them, and the only thing would be like one little tiny red dot on their body, which was hard to detect. There wouldn't be a needle left or anything like that in the person.
But also the toxin itself would not appear in the autopsy?
Yes, so that there was no way of perceiving that the target was him.
Researchers also believe the movie we see today is a significantly edited version of what Kubrick wanted the audience to see. But what could be so revealing as to result in the filmmaker being murdered? The film depicted a New York doctor played by Tom Cruise who infiltrates an elite mansion party where he finds masked orgies and what appears to be high-level sex slaves, all culminating in a human sacrifice. When Cruise's character presses to find out who was at the party, he is told, "If I told you their names, I don't think you'd sleep so well." What made the film particularly dangerous to the elite was not so much its portrayal of powerful men having kinky sex, but the fact that it alluded to the much darker, ritualistic sex magic and sacrifice motivating this behavior. Whether or not Kubrick was murdered for his dramatic expose, ritualistic sexual exploitation and human sacrifice is certainly a recurring theme among the higher echelons of Hollywood's elite. With all its bizarre activity and lurid scandals, the fact that Hollywood has a dark side should come as little surprise to most. However, its occult underbelly is still lesser known. Stories continue to surface of sex scandals, murder, and satanic ritual abuse, with none of the pieces ever being put together.
What you see from the outside is only the tip of the iceberg, but it goes deep. You see satanic rituals happening, you hear about them from friends. There are culty organizations springing up left and right. People join up with organizations that may not be beneficial for them.
Today, decades after Anton LaVey went around luring celebrities like Sammy Davis Jr. and Jane Mansfield into his satanic church, the influence of the dark occult is still as present as ever in Hollywood.
There's a bunch of devil worshippers in Hollywood. And there's a lot of black folks too. And they be throwing up them signs, you see them, this, that, all of them. Watch the rappers, watch them folks. It's scary. Well, what is this? Oh, the devil, the goat, be careful. It's very scary. That devil is real.
A strange invitation to something called a spirit cooking dinner in the Podesta WikiLeaks sparked internet investigations which shed light on a demented yet artistically celebrated Marina Abramovic, whose artwork consists of her mutilating herself, carving pentagrams into herself, and other such acts. This insane woman holds sick rituals she calls spirit cooking, which involve themes of Crowley Satanism, specifically cannibalism.
Our next question is by Marina Abramovic.
I am obsessed with this woman. She is so incredible.
What's on the menu? Well, it likely depends on whether the event is public or private. Marina herself admits that when done in a private setting, it is in fact a spiritual invocation. Also revealed was her adoration among Hollywood power brokers and A-listers, such as Lady Gaga, of course, Jay-Z, Pamela Anderson, Hugh Jackman, Will Ferrell, Gwen Stefani, and Kim Kardashian. She holds events simulating cannibalism in which her elite guests are charged upwards of $20,000 to partake in the cutting and eating of cakes designed to look like real human bodies with real people's heads on top. Are they really paying $20,000 for a weird cake party, or could there be a more private gathering afterwards? At an event attended by Lady Gaga and Hugh Jackman, the cannibalism was less symbolic. A-list attendees equipped with spoons scraped syrup from a naked woman's body. The naked person's natural oils and dead skin cells are scraped off and trapped in the syrup, which they then eat. This reflects the Gnostic philosophy of doing something such as cannibalism on a minor level before actually doing it in full. Also revealed in the Podesta WikiLeaks was the recurring use of certain words known to the FBI as child trafficking code words. These revelations shed new light on child trafficking among the elite, and Hollywood has its own dark secret hiding practically in the open. In recent years, it has become apparent that there is an organized pedophile ring operating at the highest levels of Hollywood, involving powerful moguls and A-listers.
The people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
When we return, the disturbing underbelly Hollywood doesn't want you to see.
It's the big secret.
Oh, Nicole Kidman, his daughter, had her arms crossed and she was leaning against a wall and sneering at me.
Elijah Wood created headlines worldwide in 2016 when he spoke out to the Sunday Times about, quote, something major going on in Hollywood, which he claimed to be in the grip of a child abuse scandal similar to Jimmy Savile. Savile was England's most prolific sexual predator, preying on children, the elderly, and even the dead. But it was Wood's final comments on the matter that alluded to even darker aspects. It was all organized. There's a darkness in the underbelly, he continued ominously. If you can imagine it, it's probably happened. Wood has without a doubt been privy to a side of Hollywood most will never see, and has likely heard whisperings of some of the ritualistic abuse going on in elite enclaves within Hollywood. But Wood's revelations are hardly shocking given the sordid stories that have surfaced regarding sexual predators in the entertainment industry.
Corey Feldman has no idea what it's like not to be famous. He was just 3 years old in this McDonald's commercial.
McDonald's gift certificates.
His roles defined the 80s.
I literally was famous before I knew my own name.
But being famous so young, he says, caused serious damage to him and his friends.
I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh yeah. Not in the same way. It's all done under the radar.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh, yeah. I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded. Literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me till I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
Vultures who Feldman says abused him and his best friend, the late child actor Corey Haim, his co-star in The Lost Boys. Feldman says the trauma of that pedophilia contributed to Haim's death.
There's one person to blame in the death of Corey Haim, and that person happens to be a Hollywood mogul. And that person needs to be exposed, but unfortunately I can't be the one to do it. But the person that knows who did it and knows who he is watching right now, I guarantee you. Yeah. There was a circle of older men that surrounded themselves around this group of kids. And they all had either their own power or connections to great power in the entertainment industry. I'm saying that there are people that were the people that did this to both me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business. And they do not want me saying what I'm saying right now.
Are you saying that they're pedophiles?
Yes.
And that they're still in this business?
Yes.
That's what, yeah. You talk to
They
parents.
want me here right now. Trust
Corey,
me. They
they're
want me dead.
They're
dead. But I'll tell you, don't go into it with naivety. Don't go into it thinking that it's all roses and
You're
sunglasses and
damaging an entire industry.
I'm sorry,
I want to
I'm
clear
not
up.
trying
You said
to.
that
I'm just trying to say that it's a very important, serious topic.
When looking at the history of child sexual abuse in Hollywood, you see a systemic cover-up reminiscent of the Catholic Church scandal. Many in the entertainment industry knew Haim and Feldman were being abused, and no one spoke up or did anything to stop it. People talked about it like it was no big deal, admitted Little House on the Prairie star Allison Ingram. The word was, they were being given drugs and being used for sex. It was awful. These were kids, she said. Ingram's last bit of information about the children being drugged should sound familiar to those aware of Roman Polanski's drugging and rape of a 13-year-old girl. The acclaimed director fled to Europe after admitting to plying the young girl with Quaalude and having sex with her.
13-year-old girl, where he had sexual intercourse with her, sodomized her, gave her drugs, gave her alcohol.
He got off with nothing.
Nevertheless, the Hollywood establishment remains enamored with Polanski and want him to return.
And the Oscar goes to Roman Polanski.
Literally hundreds of famous actors, directors, and other entertainment royalty have petitioned for the dropping of charges against Polanski. Like a dam beginning to break, each crack leads more lurid allegations against increasingly powerful figures in Hollywood. Documentary director Amy Berg, who previously exposed the Catholic Church's abuse, showcased the brave testimony of victims of sexual predators in the entertainment industry.
Confident in saying all of the convicted predators that I have been familiar with had many more victims than the one that was convicting. We're absolutely talking about the tip of an iceberg. I'm not sure that we'll ever see the whole iceberg because I think there's so many factors pushing that iceberg down into the water.
The writer and director of the Jeepers Creepers franchise, Victor Salva, is a convicted pedophile who admitted to child rape and procuring a child for pornography. Hollywood power broker Francis Ford Coppola discovered and helped establish Salva. Coppola sponsored his first feature film, Clown House, which was partly filmed at Coppola's estate. This movie served as a front for the production of child porn, featuring the 12-year-old actor using the same exact cameras being used to film the movie. He only served 15 months in prison before he was back out and within a few years directing a movie for a subsidiary of Disney. A new Jeepers Creepers movie is set to be released in 2017, and Salva will walk the red carpet at the premiere more praised than ever. But Salva's production of child porn hints at a deeper level of exploitation on a grander scale. When interviewed concerning the Feldman allegations, former child star Paul Peterson told Fox News something very revealing, saying, It would be really wonderful if his, Feldman's, allegations reached through all the protective layers and identified the real people who were part of a worldwide child pornography ring. This ring that Peterson is speaking of is what researchers believe to be the international network linking Hollywood with such high-profile predators as Jimmy Savile and Jeffrey Epstein. For those who thought Hollywood's connections to the elite child abuse network couldn't get any stranger, it's about to get a lot more shocking. In 2014, Nicole Kidman's father died under extremely suspicious circumstances in a Singapore hotel, and online sources speculated that the 75-year-old had actually fled to Singapore after child abuse allegations were filed in Australia, linking him to an elite pedophile ring that abused and sacrificed children, and that his death was likely a murder. The unspeakable allegations come from Australian self-described whistleblower and MKUltra victim Fiona Barnett, who filed formal charges accusing Nicole Kidman's father, Anthony Kidman, a prominent clinical psychologist, of sexual and physical abuse as part of a child trafficking ring.
I was seated in a chair, naked, tied to a chair, and Kidman was smacking me over the head really hard, and he was screaming at me, "Do you remember now? Do you remember now?" And meanwhile, Nicole Kidman, his daughter, had her arms crossed, and she was leaning against a wall and sneering at me in contempt. Mrs. Kidman washed and dried my clothes, and I was dressed, and Dr. Mark came and picked me up.
She accuses Anthony Kidman of being a sadistic MKUltra programmer conducting mind control for the CIA, among others. But is there any truth to these allegations? First, consider who are the Kidmans. The Kidmans are actually an elite family themselves, being heir to Sir Sidney Kidman, one of the largest landowners in the world, on the same list as the Queen. Barnett identifies Nicole Kidman as being both a victim and abuser in this cult. Nicole Kidman starred in the movie Stepford Wives, which is all about mind control.
You know, for those who say I'm making this up, live it and then tell me I made it up.
I just think that the whole idea of celebrity and fame has become really convoluted and, you know, kind of bastardized, like whereas fame used to be the byproduct of success and now it's the ultimate goal. And if your ultimate goal is to be famous, then you're gonna do a lot to get there, like sign your name in blood in a contract with the devil. Like you're gonna end up on a one-way street and it's going nowhere.
Perhaps it was Marilyn Monroe herself who said it best. Hollywood is a place where they'll give you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for your soul. The town certainly has a way of sucking the soul out of its victims. Whether it's a little bit at a time or with the stroke of a pen, Hollywood's legacy of lives discarded is irrefutable. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check out my other documentaries. Have your own theory or entertainment industry story to tell? Share with us in the comments section.